Over the years, there are many technological advancements in the smartphone industry, especially in the camera department. From pop-up cameras to notches, brands are being creative in providing their consumers with an actual full-view display. 2021 came, smartphone brands are racing to develop a new technology to hide the front-facing camera for a more screen real estate, and that is putting the camera beneath the display. A smartphone brand, ZTE, made a smartphone with an under-display camera first available in the market, and that is the ZTE Axon 25G. There were some compromises, especially in the camera department, but performance-wise, this device can handle pretty much everything we throw at it. If you want to know more about the Axon 25G, continue watching. The ZTE Axon 25G has a tall footprint because of its large screen real estate. In the hands, this device feels premium and surprisingly light to handle. Because of its large size, I find it quite hard to grip and reach the top portion of the display because of my small hands. The unit we have is in the black colorway, but it is also available in blue, purple, and gold. Even with its full-view display, there's still a slightly thicker chin, but it wasn't that bad as compared to some other smartphones in the space. The back is made out of glass, which feels slippery to the touch and attracts fingerprints pretty easily, so we highly suggest you use the free jelly case included in the box. We can also find the rectangular rear camera module alongside with the ZTE and Axon branding at the back. Nothing can be found on the left, while on the right we have the volume rockers alongside with the sleep wake button. Microphone on the top, while at the bottom a hybrid SIM card tray, a USB Type-C port, call microphone, and a speaker grill. The Axon 25G sports a huge 6.92 inches FHD Plus OLED display with a resolution of 2460 by 1080. It supports 90Hz screen refresh rate with a 240Hz touch sampling rate and a 100% DCI-P3 color gamut. So far, we like the display, especially when consuming media. Colors are vivid and accurate with deep blacks, and using it under direct sunlight is pretty usable and decent. The screen where the under-display camera sits is pixelated, as the screen needs to provide gaps for the under-display camera to see through the display. It wasn't that noticeable and as intrusive as having a dewdrop or a notch on a display. But for image quality, we'll talk more on that later. Now for protection, unfortunately there's none, so we highly suggest putting a screen protector immediately when you are planning to buy this device. The single downward firing speaker can fill up the room, but it may sound tinny at maximum volume. But then overall, this device can provide a decent sound, but we highly suggest you use headphones for a more immersive media consuming experience. Running on this device is Mi Favor 10.5 skin with Android 10. The interface looks clean and easy to use. You can opt for a home screen or an app drawer, but if you didn't like how the overall UI looks, you can easily customize it with launchers available to download on Google's Play Store. For cameras, the ZTE Axon 5G equips a 64-megapixel main shooter with an aperture of 1.8, 8-megapixel ultra-wide with an aperture of 2.0, 2-megapixel macro lens with an aperture of 2.4, 2-megapixel depth sensor with an aperture of 2.4, and of course an LED flash at the back. Up front is the under-display 32-megapixel selfie camera. Photos from the ZTE Axon 25G are decent, and it can produce nice images with ample amount of high dynamic range. Although colors looks a little inaccurate and a little bit dark in some scenarios, skin tones on the other hand can be pinkish at times, and there's a lot of post-processing going on. On the app, weirdly enough, 1x, 2x, and 0.5x are available, but only wide and ultra-wide lenses are real. 2x on the other hand is just a zoomed out image from its primary sensor, which looks deceiving at first. The camera solely relies on digital stabilization, so some photos come out a little bit blurry, especially in dark scenarios. Since the display panel's glass isn't meant for camera lenses, the light needs to pass through a thick layer of glass before hitting the sensor. That is why the quality of the front-facing camera looks soft and grainy in most situations. Some people might not mind this, but if you are the type of person who loves taking selfies, you want to look for something else. For performance, powering up the Axon 25G is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G coupled with an Adreno 620 GPU, up to 8GB of RAM and 256 of internal storage. Basic to moderate tasks, the Axon 25G can perform well without any stutters. Gaming on the other hand is decent even in high graphics settings, but there are slight frame drops from time to time, but overall it is pretty good gaming experience. We run all of our benchmark apps and we got all of these results. For biometrics, the Axon 25G has an under-display fingerprint scanner and a face recognition. Both of these security features are reliable and accurate, although it wasn't that fast as compared to some other smartphones in the market. Now for battery, this device has a pretty sizable 4,220 mAh battery with support for 30-watt Qualcomm Quick Charge 4 Plus. The battery life on this device is pretty decent. It can last the whole day without charging, primarily browsing the web through Wi-Fi and cellular data and playing graphically intensive games. We are at 14% at the end of the day, and in our standard video loop test, we got a total score of 16 hours and 42 minutes of playback. In the PC Mark Work 2.0 battery test, we yielded a score of 14 hours and 21 minutes. The ZTE Axon 25G is the first smartphone with an under-display camera that hit the market, and we can really hope for the best when it comes to its front-facing camera, as there are tons of things to develop and improve, especially in its quality. But overall, the ZTE Axon 25G is a pretty compelling smartphone in the market, as it can perform well from basic to moderate tasks and can handle graphically intensive games without any slouch. But for pricing, we'll put it in the description box below once it becomes officially available here in the Philippines. But for now, expect that this device will cost somewhere around 25,000 pesos. So, what do you guys think about the ZTE Axon 25G? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon so to miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Narelle, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.